Put the fries in the bag and the grass in the bowl. And I do what I'm
On the
told.
Creations
And I
is
do
proud to
what I'm
present
told. Got the fries in the bag, got the stash on hold. Clock in, clock out. Then I do what I'm told. Put the fries in the bag and the grass in the
Hi, hello, and welcome back to Ring Ring Hello podcast, the podcast where no matter your background, you are not alone in a post COVID world. I'm your host, Rebecca, here joined with photographer, visual storyteller, Timothy. Hi, hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. As you know, we're here to discuss the wonderful wonders of artistry, and I would love to hear more about your journey in photography. How did you get into it? Where did it all start for you? And can you share with the audience your creative journey?
Yeah, my photography journey started when I was just a little boy. It actually has kind of a mischievous beginnings where I was fascinated with disposable cameras. So every time we would go to weddings and stuff, and they would be out, I would pocket a few of them and
Mhm.
use them for my personal preferences at home. And let's see, I was probably I don't know 4 or 5. And yeah, it just grew from there. I'd say probably around the age of 7 is when I kind of was like, oh, this is like an actual thing that I enjoy doing. I feel something with it, and it blossomed and continued, and it's something I've carried on since then. So let's see, that's been about, oh geez, like 20, 23 years worth of using my mischievous nature as a kid into something that's a very big part of who I am to this day.
Holding on to that playful. I mean that's who we are, and at our core, everybody talks about healing your inner child. You got to hold on to that inner child and nurture it. That's awesome. And your storytelling with photography. How have your subjects changed? Like when you were younger, what would you like to take pictures of?
Yeah, so when I was first doing it, it was just literally anything and everything, like my pets, flowers,
Mhm.
trees. Like it really didn't have a theme. It was just, oh, I have this camera, I'm gonna take a picture. But as I got a little bit older and kind of started developing my own personality, I kind of started leaning more towards like cars, which got me into motorsport side of things, airplanes, like anything that would go fast. So to this day, like motorsports, aviation, landscapes, and I've started dabbling into some fashion as well recently.
Oh, I
But
love
it's
the fashion photography.
oh well, thank you. I want to say, was it 2024 when I went to Italy? That's kind of where I discovered like my love for fashion. Well, I won't say love, but like real appreciation for it. I'm like, this is kind of part of who I am.
Yeah.
But that was definitely something I didn't see on my photography bingo card, just 5 years ago. So it's kind of an ever evolving thing. Um, really, motorsports has been like the main core thing that's kind of stuck to me for many years.
That's awesome. And so you're in your journeys of traveling, you had this. Was there a particular, like, what was the experience like of that revelation of like, "Oh, fashion is a part of my photography identity?"
Yeah, so that that kind of came about. So a little background on myself is, so my grandparents came over from Italy shortly after World War II, and developed a life here. And there's a few stereotypes about Italians that are true. One of them being that they are very fashionable people. So when I was in Italy, I was kind of discovering part of myself that I really didn't get to know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, like this is definitely a part of who I am. Um, so I would say probably like a month or two after I got back stateside, I kind of started looking at myself and realizing like the style I had was a style like a product of my environment, not a product of who I am. So I kind of started leaning into that and developing like my own personal style.
Yeah.
Um, my my employer at the time, some of my coworkers, they used to call me fancy pants or crazy pants because like I started wearing not just jeans to work. Like I'd wear like red checkered pants or like bright yellow pants or like stuff that's like, hey, look at me, but really it wasn't
Well,
like,
and
hey, I
it's
want you to look at
self-expression
me.
of
Exactly,
self.
exactly. So that developed, and then I came across a few photographers that had in the past, like early 2000s, um, kind of combine fashion with motorsports, and I was like, oh my god, these are my people. And then that kind of branched me out to leading into, hey, I should start photographing fashion stuff because it could help me in the long run with my other subjects. And when I first started, I really didn't know how I was going to incorporate that, but then I just started doing it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I was like, that's the key takeaway: just have fun with it. It all comes together in the end as long as you're having fun with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Keeping that fun in the play element of our craft, and for you specifically that photography, w- what's how do you find your spark creatively in this moment with this? So is this a recent revelation of like fashion intertwining with motorsports?
Yeah, I will say that was probably within the last 6 months. And a lot of that is, it comes from real life applications. Like, I'm a big Formula One fan, and Lewis Hamilton is my favorite driver. For those that don't know, he is like a fashion icon as well. So I was like,
Oh,
there's the first element of tying fashion into motorsports.
yeah.
And then you see a bunch of pictures of him, and you get half and half. You get like half motorsport, half fashion, and then like the famous thing that's kind of come from the Formula One community is like, what is Lewis's outfit when he shows up to the racetrack? Like, so these kind of were the stepping stones for that, which at the time I didn't quite realize was going to be a grand revelation later, but like, oh, so it's kind of preparing me for it in a way that I didn't realize it. But now, like, once I jumped on that train, if you will, it was like, oh, I've already got like a foundation here to be inspired off of. So I just need to figure out how to tie that into myself.
So your fashion, so is that would you say that's your current creative challenge, is like finding that balance of you've found it through the subject matter. Now it's the reflection through yourself. Is that through the fashion element or
I think it's a little bit of like, it's to the fashion element, but it's also to the artistic in me. Because for the longest time, I truly didn't intertwine fashion with art,
oh
and
really?
it's like,
It just
I'm not
wasn't
saying
it just
fashion
wasn't no,
designers.
no, no, no. I totally understand.
Yeah, yeah, like it wasn't for me. It didn't click because I really never associated with clothes with like a medium. And then like as I started, really looking into myself, I'm like, art's an expression, clothes are an expression, people design clothes as an expression. And that's when it was like, oh, this is all
It makes
connected. This is all one big circle.
yes. Yes. I love that. That's so cool. And then then that with the connection of your own self and your family's history and your culture intertwining with your creative expression, and that's all a recent life change. I mean, I love that. That's so incredible. Like, how is that impacting you now, like on your day to day? Like, has it affected I mean, I would assume it's affected your mindset because it's that shift in perspective. But like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah. To give a short and honest answer with that, I don't think it needs a whole lot of words. It's freeing. There's a freedom to it because you have more ways to express yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's beautiful.
like, self-expression is the most freedom invoking feeling out there, I think, at least at this point in my life, that I've been able to discover. You can have all the money in the world, you can travel, but if you're not expressing yourself, are you really free, or are you just doing what society wants you to do?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what makes art such an act of, like, not revolt, but, like, to a degree, it is, because it goes against all those norms of, oh, we're expected to do this, and this, and who has time to be a person outside of that? That's what I say. Is like you need time to be a person.
Exactly. There's a quote that I read many years ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. Is that good art makes the comfortable uncomfortable and the uncomfortable comfortable.
Yes. Yes. It's true. I and with your I mean, speaking on that uncomfortable, making the comfortable uncomfortable, how does that play into your own self? Like for me, when I'm creating, I have to push myself to be uncomfortable with, like, what I'm putting on a canvas. Like, in order to expand my own imagination of potential. What is that like for you with photography? And now with this, what's your path look like now? Like, you've started doing these really cool, uh, the romance photos that you just posted. Like, oh my gosh, I would love to know how you came about, like, making that a thing, because they're so cool. It, and the ideas
Yeah,
and creatively coming to that, because that's very different from what you had posted before.
yeah. If you were to look at my Instagram, man, you're gonna be like, "What is this guy doing?" But like, that's the beauty of it. Is
It's
like every day is
amazing.
something
It's all
different.
different, and I love that. It's what to me,
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
yeah. Like touch like a little off subject here, but it's like in the photography realm, there's this notion that you need to just have a niche and stick with it. And I guess it goes back to what we're talking about, is because like I break down barriers. I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. Like, if I never get famous or popular for it, cool. That's not my goal anyway. I'm just here to create. And
Yeah.
some people find it hard to follow because you're kind of all over the place. But it's like, okay, well, that's what my mind was thinking that day. And
Right.
I think
That's the element. It's
letting my
you.
mind wander, yeah, you got to let your mind wander. That's what builds the creativity. Because if you keep it within guardrails, you're not ever exploring. You're not exploring your potential. You're not exploring like what is out there that you might not at this exact moment be interested in, but could be. Like, for me, like even like 4 years ago, I would have never thought I'd been somebody who was into fashion, but I let myself explore it, and here I am.
Yeah.
But to get to the point, it's I think a lot of what it's what speaks to me. Like, as photographers, you see things that normal people don't see. Like, you may look at a tree. We'll just use a tree as an example because I'm looking at one right now. Okay, you see green, leafy, or a pine tree, whatever type of tree. You kind of see the whole thing. Some people may see the individual branches. Some people may see a bird flying in and out of it. As a photographer, you start to notice the smaller details. Like, okay, that branch has 7 stems coming off of it. The one next to it has 3. Okay, well, when the wind blows this way, those kind of create a little heart. Which, getting to the romance pictures that I had posted. So, some really good friends, and I think there are a couple, and I was like, I want to do something with shadows because silhouettes are kind of cool. Like, I do a lot of silhouette stuff and like with people and motorsports with good backlight and everything. I was like, let's see what the shadows do. So I had them stand there, posed out, whatever. And of course, with any romance stuff, you have people kiss. Well, with the way that the shadow fell, I saw a heart in that, and I was like, y'all need to hold this because I need to get like multiple angles of this. Again, it's something that in passing I probably wouldn't have seen if I wasn't like in my photo mode, if you will, because it was very subtle, and you catch a glimpse of it, and it's like, okay, I can expand on this. So like I said, I caught a glimpse of it. I was like, I need y'all to stay there for a second, kind of readjusted some light to create it, and what you see is what you get, and I like to kind of make things a little more cinematic. So I tried my best to make it as moody as possible as well, because again, that's what was speaking to me.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was the flavor of the day, if you will.
Oh, I love it. And it's so cool. And that's one of the greatest things about art is you can have a flavor of the day. Like you could make a different piece every day for a year and tell so many different stories and have such just a beautiful collage of experience and art. And I admire it so much and I so appreciate the opportunity to get to share your story here and have those turning on and tuning in. Do you have anything that you're really focused on with this new revelation in your craft? Like what does the next steps look like for you? Have you thought about how you're going to continue evolving or like what does that look like for you?
Yeah, so that's that's kind of a tricky thing because again, this goes against all social norms. But I've really learned to just let myself like
Be
feel.
yeah.
Um, Having a plan is a great thing, and I still have plans for things. But when it comes to art, my plan is to just listen to my heart, listen to my brain, listen to my soul. Like I can sit down, write down on paper, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, the time comes to go to a photo shoot or paint or whatever medium I'm feeling like creating on that day. But when I get there, the paintbrush, the camera, the lens, the lighting, whatever might be telling me something different. And if I don't listen to that and try to stick to a plan, I call that corporatizing art. When you
Oh,
stick to a plan,
yeah.
and it kills the creative flow, I feel like. So it's something I've had to work on just in life in general. And it's like art has really helped me understand this. It's just don't like have a plan, but it's okay if the plan gets thrown away.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now. Like I said, I'll have a rough idea now. I don't have a plan. I have a rough idea, and if it doesn't happen, cool. If it does happen, great. Again, as long as I've created something, that means the plan worked.
Yeah. Nurturing the moment to be, the gift to be in the moment. Do you have
Yeah, and
any
it goes back to like nurturing your inner child. Because think about it, if you take a kid to a playground, they don't
yeah.
really have a plan of what they're gonna do. They're just okay. I want to go down the slide. I want to go on the swing. I want to go on the monkey bars. Like they're just going with the flow. I
Yeah.
guarantee they haven't on the car ride over thought, okay, I'm gonna do the slide 3 times and then I'm gonna go over and do this. Like, no. So it goes back to just nurturing your inner child, nurturing that playful spirit that's inside of all of us.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have any recommendations on or habits that help you on a day to day continue to nurture that element of self, that mindset?
There's a few things. One of the biggest things is write down any idea that comes to you. Even if you're at your corporate job, get out a sticky note and just write down what exactly it is, because you can always come back to it. You might even grow on it. When you get home that evening, you might be like, okay, I'm going to do something with this, and then you look at it and you're like, actually, you know what? This was a dumb idea. I don't like it. You can don't throw it away. Get a little box, throw it in that, because
Oh yeah.
as artists, we all eventually have some sort of block at some point. It may last a few minutes, may last an hour, a day, a week, whatever. That's when you go back to that box and you look at all your old ideas and you can maybe create something on it.
I love that.
Um, that's the biggest one for me. I've started carrying around a notepad. Like I said, if I have an idea, I'll write it down, no matter how silly it is. Just something to kind of capture the overall thing. Um, like not too long ago, I was doing some protest art and ideas were coming to me like left and right. So I would write stuff down and then I would get home and either feel it or not, because sometimes days are exhausting, and then if something speaks to you, just act on it.
Yeah.
Just do it. It doesn't have to be a polished final product. Just act. Just get a draft. You know, maybe expand on the words that you wrote on the paper. Maybe get a drawing together. Maybe get, as a photographer, like I kind of sketch out ideas of what I think I'm going to do, and I'm not the greatest drawer, but it gives me kind of a visual representation of, okay, this is what I'm aiming for. But when I get the actual props or whatever and set it up, that's kind of when the creative element comes together. And it all stems from writing down something on a notepad earlier that day, earlier that week, earlier that year, whatever, while at work or whatever. So
Yeah.
that's probably one of the biggest things I can suggest that people start doing if you're not already doing that.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Take notes of your creative thoughts. Make that time for yourself. Give to that playful spirit creatively and just let yourself be. Timothy, do you have any other advice that you would like to share with others who may be afraid to call themselves artists or share their work or give themselves that opportunity to just be free?
Just create. There is no such thing as bad art. And I know that quote earlier I shared about good art makes comfortable people uncomfortable and uncomfortable people comfortable. I promise there's somebody out there that will love what you've created. It doesn't have to be for everybody. Please, like trying to please everybody's creative taste, what they like, it's the killer of your creative soul. So just create. I promise there's no such thing as bad art unless it's made by AI. That's all it is. Even just lines on a canvas. There's some people may think that's not art, but that is art. You created that. There is an idea in your head and you put it on paper.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the biggest thing. Just create.
Just create. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for those listening for turning on and tuning in to Ring Ring Hello podcast, the podcast where no matter your background, you're not alone in a post COVID world. Timothy, it has been such an honor, a gift, and a privilege to be able to share your story and have you here with me. Do you have anything you'd like to say? Share your socials, any closing remarks?
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share my words and advice that some people may find good or bad, whatever. That's how you take it.
That's at their will. We need nothing
Exactly.
but gifts of guidance and love here.
Exactly. That is just from my personal experience and 31 years of mischief and creativity, if you will. But yeah, if anybody would like to check out my stuff, I'm most active on Instagram under black_flag photography. And if you're not already following this podcast on Instagram, you should do that as well.
Thank you.
But yeah, again, I greatly appreciate the conversation, and I hope that other creatives out there will have creative conversations with people. You'll be surprised to find we're a lot more present than you'd be led on to believe. So
have those conversations, take that time for yourself, and remember, love yourself today. You're worth it.
Yeah, I do what I'm told.